In this presentation, we are going to derive the expression for surface tension by capillary rise method. Before going to derive the expression, we have to understand the theory part of the derivation. The capillary rise is more dominant in the case of very fine tubes, but this phenomenon is the outcome of the force of surface tension. In order to derive the relation between the capillary rise, that is H, and the surface tension T, we have to consider a capillary tube which is held vertically in a beaker containing water. The water rises in the capillary tube to a height of H due to surface tension. So this is the basis for the derivation of the surface tension. Now I am going to teach you how to draw the diagram which is related to the derivation of surface tension by capillary rise method. We have to draw a trough within which that water, that one is filled up within the trough. So this is a portion where the water is filled up. Now one capillary tube to be taken, that is to be dipped within the water. That capillary tube that is to be dipped vertically within the water. After dipping, the water will be rising through the narrow hole that is within the capillary tube. That is due to capillary action. As soon as it is dipped, what will happen? The water will be rising here. Here we are going to see the magnified part of the capillary rise. Here you have to imagine that this is the level of water. This is the surface of water which is shown here after the capillary rise. There you could observe the curved surface. You can observe the concave surface here. So this is the region within which that water that is rising here. This is a portion of water that is raised due to capillary action. Are you clear? Now we are going to draw the other details in this. So this is the point where the solid and liquid both are interfacing here. There you have to draw the tangent to get the angle of contact. Draw the tangent with respect to this point, with respect to this curved surface, and this is the force which is acting due to surface tension, and it can be simply mentioned as T. And within the liquid, there you can draw the angle called theta, that is called angle of contact. The normal force, the normal reactional force, that one will be acting. If this one is taken as action, means this one should be taken as reaction. So that N will be equal to T. N means normal force, normal reactional force, that is equal and opposite to the force due to surface tension. Here also we can draw another tangent. After drawing the tangent, this is the direction through which the force due to surface tension is acting. Force due to surface tension is simply mentioned as T, and this is the direction through which the normal reactional force is acting, that is equal to what? The force due to surface tension. There also you can get the angle called theta. Are you clear? So here, since it is a two-dimensional diagram, just we have drawn these two arrowheads and that just we have seen two forces alone. But here actually how the nature of the surface will be in 3 dimension. All around the circumference, clear, these kind of forces will be acting. Are you clear? All around the circumference, several number of force due to surface tension can be drawn, several number of normal reactional force can be drawn. Now this normal reactional force that can be resolved into two components. If this one is theta, means this angle also will be equal to theta. Here also the angle will be equal to theta. Now this normal reactional force can be resolved into two components. This is called horizontal component. Are you clear? Therefore we can write it as what is this? T cos theta. T is resolved into two components. This is horizontal component and this is the vertical component, and it can be written as T sin theta. So T cos theta is acting here, T sin theta is acting here, like that. Here also along the wall, which one is acting? T cos theta is acting, because T is resolved into two components. Here the force due to surface tension, its vertical component is acting here, T sin theta. Are you clear? Here this T sin theta and this T sin theta both are acting in the opposite direction. Their magnitude and magnitude are equal and directions are opposite, and both of them will be cancelling with one another. If you observe the same picture from top view, you can observe several number of T sin thetas. Each one of them, they will be cancelling with one another. On the whole, the net effect will be 0. Now we are going to calculate the net upward force. Net upward force due to surface tension to be calculated. Net upward force to be calculated. Very easy. Are you clear? Now we are going to calculate the total upward force to be calculated. How to write? Total upward force. Total upward force due to surface tension to be calculated. Are you clear? How to calculate total upward force? Very simple. Are you clear? Here already in the beginning itself we have learned that surface tension is nothing but force per unit length. So force due to surface tension, that is upward force due to surface tension, is equal to cross multiply this. Surface tension into length. Are you clear? Here T, that is in the form of T cos theta. T is in the form of T cos theta. Therefore instead of T, we can write T cos theta. Are you clear? That force due to surface tension, that is acting all along the here you can draw the cross sectional view of the bubble. It's clear. You can draw the cross sectional view of the surface. Are you clear? If you take this part as a small circle that is in the concave surface, that radius can be taken as r, and if you view from top view, that portion will be like a circle. So everywhere T cos theta is acting. So the T cos theta, that is acting all along the circumference of the surface. Therefore, what is the total length of the surface? The total length of the surface is 2 pi r. So instead of L, we can write 2 into pi into r. Are you clear? So finally what will happen? 2 pi rt, 2 pi rt, 2 pi rt, cos theta is the net upward force. The total upward force which is acting all around the surface is equal to 2 pi rt cos theta. So this is the method of drawing the diagram. Here one upward force is acting, no, the total upward force is calculated. Later we are going to calculate the downward force. The downward force must be calculated due to gravity. So that is in the next part. Okay. Now I am going to explain the volume of liquid which is stored up in this region. Mainly in this derivation, this part of the calculation must be done very carefully. So this is the portion of the liquid that is pulled by gravity. So the gravitational force, that weight is acting towards downward direction. To calculate the weight which is acting towards downward direction, the formula is W is equal to m into g. That is the downward direction force, gravitational force is acting. To calculate the mass of this portion of water, what is required? Here we have to take the fundamental formula called rho. Rho is equal to density. Density is equal to mass per volume. To substitute m, we require density formula. Rho is equal to m by v. Now from this formula, we are able to obtain the formula m is equal to rho into v. Mainly this V that represents the volume of this portion, shaded portion. So this is the main thing that should be calculated very carefully. Now we are going to calculate how to calculate the volume of this portion. Volume of this portion and volume of this portion both have to be added. First you separate them into two sections. Here one hemisphere is there. Are you clear? Just below to the hemisphere, water surface is there, water portion is there. This is a perfect cylindrical portion and radius of this portion is R. This is a cross-sectional view of the capillary tube, that is R. Height of the water column is H. Therefore, the volume of water is pi R square H. This is the volume of the cylindrical part of the liquid. And again you take this part as the another cylindrical part. It is partially filled up with water and partially filled up with air. So on the whole you take it as a cylindrical portion, and on the whole the clear in both the clear must be considered, this one and this one. Here radius of this portion is R and radius of this portion is also equal to R. Therefore the height and radius both have to be considered. On the whole this cylindrical part can be taken as pi R square. Here pi R square H is written no like this. Here also to calculate this cylindrical part we can write it as pi R square R can be written. Are you clear? Pi R square means pi this R square, pi R square, height can be taken as R. On the whole this portion, cylindrical portion volume is pi R square R. What would be the this portion? Are you clear? Volume of this portion. We know very well that you have to find out in which shape it is. This is a hemisphere, no? Clear. Since it is hemisphere, the volume of this hemispherical portion can be taken as 2 pi 3 pi R cube. So that is the volume of this hemispherical portion that is occupied by air. So it will be very easy to calculate the volume of the shaded portion. The total volume of this shaded portion, water portion, can be calculated by volume of this portion and volume of this portion to be found out. So therefore first you take this volume, it's a perfect cylindrical water column. Already we have written V is equal to pi R square H. So this is the volume of this portion. That is to be added with this one. This one cannot be obtained directly. Therefore this you take this portion, volume of the entire portion can be taken as pi R square R, that can be written as pi R cube. So pi R cube can be written. Are you clear? Volume of this entire portion is pi R cube. That is to be subtracted by this factor. What is the value? 2 pi 3 pi R cube. 2 pi 3 pi R cube is the volume of air portion. If the entire volume minus volume of this portion, that gives you this volume portion. Volume of this portion can be obtained. So if you add this volume and this volume, you will get the volume of the entire liquid column which is present in this region. Are you clear? Shaded portion. Now I have got the expression for V. Now in this expression, which one can be substituted? This mass, in this mass expression, the formula can be substituted. M is equal to rho in bracket volume can be written. What is the formula for volume? Pi R square H plus pi R cube minus 2 pi 3 pi R cube can be written. Are you clear? This is the expression for mass of the water which is stored up here. But what we require, how much amount of weight is acting towards downward direction, that is to be calculated. So the weight W is equal to M into G. M into G to be written. Are you clear? The same expression M is here, that should be multiplied with G, that's all. So therefore rho G both are multiplied outside. The rest of the portion can be written Later I will explain how to simplify the expression. Are you clear? Plus pi r cube minus 2 pi 3 pi r cube. So I have calculated the downward weight, downward gravitational force which is acting in the column. Clear? In this liquid column is calculated. Previously we have calculated the net upward force. Now we have calculated the net downward force, that is weight acting towards downward is calculated. Since both are in equilibrium, net upward force and gravitational force, that is weight, when both are balancing with each other, when both are in equilibrium, what will happen? The water will be standing up to certain level, up to certain height h. Are you clear? Because of this equilibrium between the net upward force and net downward force, are you clear? This water column is rising up to certain extent. Next we are going to derive the expression for surface tension by making them equal. Okay. Now we are in the final step of the derivation. In the previous derivation, I derived the expression for upward force. There I used the capital letter. By mistake I wrote it. Now you write it as small r. Wherever capital R comes, there you have to write small r. Now the upward force which is acting in the upward direction due to surface tension, that one balances the weight of the liquid column within the capillary tube. So this is a very important clue. By using this clue alone, we are going to derive the expression for T. Are you clear? So again I will rewrite this. 2 pi RT cos theta is equal to, what should be written here? Rho T, rho G, subtract pi r square h plus, after subtraction you will get 1 by 3 pi r cube. Are you clear? 2 pi RT cos theta is equal to rho G. Pi r square can be taken outside and h can be written within the bracket. The remaining factor is, here one r square is taken now, therefore that one becomes r by 3. Are you clear? When compared to h, r by 3 is negligibly small. Height of the water column is h now, and r is nothing but radius of the upper curved surface is r. R by 3 is too small, therefore r by 3 can be neglected. When compared to h, which one is very small? That r by 3 is too small, therefore it can be neglected. So 2 pi RT cos theta is equal to rho G pi r square, h can be written. Here pi can be cancelled, one r can be cancelled. So what is the remaining factor? These are all the remaining factor. Therefrom you have to get the expression for T. T is equal to rho G R H divided by this 2, that one will come down by cross multiplication and cos theta is there. So this is the expression for surface tension, okay, by capillary rise method. By knowing the value of density of the liquid, by knowing the value of acceleration due to gravity and radius of the capillary tube, and h is nothing but height of the water column, by knowing the angle of contact, surface tension of the liquid can be calculated. Are you clear? So very important formula. Okay, by knowing this we are able to calculate. If you want to calculate h, height of the water column, that equation therefrom we are able to get the expression 2t cos theta whole divided by, cross multiply this. In the denominator r rho g will be there. From this expression, here all are constant. Theta is constant, t is constant, rho is constant, g is constant. It is explicitly it is seen that h is inversely proportional to r. If r is less, the height will be more. If the radius of the capillary tube is very less, radius of the bore of the capillary tube is very low, means basically that liquid will be rising to the greater extent, to the greater height. So that is the conclusion which is arrived finally. In few problem, the theta value may be taken as very less value. It is almost taken as 0. Are you clear? So there is a clear few alterations to be done. Okay. So this is the final expression. You can use it for solving any problems. Okay. Thank you.